Let's move a little forward. Let's move a little forward. Why is the dating world so awful right now? Let's start with L. L, why is, I had to speak for LA, and Pointer never gets too personal, but dating is very, not the best right now. Why do you think, well, first of all, do you think it's bad right now? In general, let's go America. Is dating bad? Because a lot of people say there's pee in the dating pool. That's like a common one. Y'all haven't heard that?
No.
I mean, have you heard that? No? What? There's pee in the dating pool. I probably did. I'm pretty creative. No, but Elle, what do you think about dating in general? What do you think?
Dating is hard.
Yeah.
Dating is so hard. Like, I think like finding someone that you actually like mesh with is like rare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone that you genuinely want to like be around all the time. And then like nowadays everybody's so superficial that it's like once they meet someone that they like, they're like, oh, well, I have this one, so what else can I get out there? Like, you know, but then they don't realize like you're not gonna get that same connection from every person that you meet. And like I think life is so short that like when you find it, you should hold on to it. And people don't do that. Like they think like, oh, there's gonna be another opportunity for this to come around, but it's not. And then men are a lot of the times. Like they're the reasons most of the time that like relationships don't work, I think.
Yeah, 80% of divorces are initiated by women.
What book are you reading this out of?
The Census Bureau.
But to Elle's point, now I'm supposed to just stay neutral, but to Elle's point, 80% of women could be initiating it because the men are falling short in some area.
Right, and I'm not saying that men are just perfect, because we absolutely are not. Like, but
Absolutely.
Not everyone can be Pointer.
Not everybody can be Pointer. Points is pretty goddamn good, but just in total, just in general, right? I'm not saying that women are just wantonly doing it because, I mean, again, there are men that aren't.
Right.
Like, right. But I don't think men are the problem with the dating pool, because who's not getting dates?
Both.
Come on now.
Or you think
if she wanted to go out and get a date today.
But you got to, well, yeah.
It's men. I think it said women have opportunity, men have chances. I think that's the.
Do you think that statement is true? Because he's saying it's easy for you to just pick up.
Probably, but am I gonna pick up just like the most quality guy? Like, no, probably not. Like, there's a long list of men that might want to take me on a date, but are they what I want? No.
Right. So the long list of men that want to take you on the date compared to the long list of women that want to take men on dates, those aren't the same thing.
Why would a woman take you on a date?
That's the point that I'm trying to talk
We're about to get into that.
There's an entitlement there. That is why women are the issue.
Okay, that's not. But okay.
There is some entitlement, and that literally.
Don't you have your own money, your own house, your own space? You don't need a man for nothing. So why is it
aren't
for
you
your dates?
supposed to be a provider as a man?
Why would I provide for somebody who has no value to me right now?
Why would I not have value to you?
Just going on a date doesn't give you value.
The first date.
Yeah, but the way I was raised, the man is supposed to pay for the date. A man.
I'm sure in the way you were raised too, the woman wasn't also having her own spot, her own house, her own money, her own job, her own car.
Why was she not?
Well, who were you raised by?
My parents.
And at that point, was your mom working?
Yeah.
Your mom still has a job?
Yes.
What does she do?
She's a therapist.
Oh, that's nice, actually.
That's some good money.
That's some good money right there.
I guess we don't have to go to the outlier of a great example, because we do know some that, back in the day, we both agree, all three of us, that dating back then was different. Right. They were more ready. They were having families at 20. Right. I got grandpa at 25. He already had 7 children. So it's like it was different. But now it has evolved to a degree. No, literally. Yeah. By the time they were done, it was 13 children. But okay, that's not Pointer's story. But anyway, let's dive in then, because we started going the entitlement of, should men always pursue women? I think that's where we were kind of going towards that. So Elle, you kind of already said, but go a little deeper. Should men always pursue women?
I think in the beginning, yes. Like a man is supposed to like court a woman and kind of show her like what life would be like as like with them together, right? But I think like women should also meet like men in the middle, because I think a lot of times I do agree that guys don't really get that affection from women, because we're not taught to do that. Like, we're kind of like supposed to be chased and stuff like that. And I feel like that's why some relationships fail, because women are like, oh, well, like he didn't call me or he didn't text me, so I'm not going to reach out. But I think it's both ways. I think guys want to be like complimented, and they want to be like, feel special just like we do.
Right.
So I think, do I believe that men should pay for dates? Yeah, but like, will I pay for a date with my man? Hell yeah, I will. Like, I'll pay for it. Like, I don't have a problem with that, but I feel like there's a point in which that's supposed to happen. Yeah.
But a first date?
No.
Okay.
No.
Christian?
Why? Now, I'm not saying, now mind you, I'm going to pay for every first date. Absolutely. Without question, I'm going to pay for it. But the fact that you feel that it needs to happen, that it has to happen, a golden rule, that shows me you won't date a broke nigga. If a nigga can't take you on a date, you will not date him. It doesn't matter what his morals are. It doesn't matter how good of a person he is. It doesn't matter how much he loves his mom. It doesn't matter how much you take care of sick puppies. If he can't pay for your first date, you're going to immediately X him out.
No, I didn't say we had to go to Javier's or nothing, but like you can take me somewhere. We can.
He can't afford McDonald's. Let's say he can't afford McDonald's.
There are some.
Then you shouldn't be dating.
She does have to that is a valid point.
Man? Isn't that something you said you would do? You would elevate him?
Yes.
Get him to the point where he can pay for McDonald's, and then he can pay for Nova, and then he can pay for planes.
I don't think you should be dating if you can't afford McDonald's. You're not ready to date.
So you're saying 16-year-olds shouldn't date?
They could. A 16-year-old can have a job.
I can have a job. Absolutely.
Lower it to 14 then. Lower it to 14.
Let's say 14.
No.
Little high school. They dated. Shoot. I see a lot of teens.
You had game though. I didn't have game.
Hey, don't start that. A lot of there's kids in middle school at 11 dating. Should we say they don't date? But that's where you explore. I mean, I'm not freaky stuff, but still, you know, 2 little 11-year-olds under the picnic, you know, under the.
And when I was dating or like meeting people at that age, like I don't know where they got their money from, but
they
it was the food court and they paid for my corn dog or whatever it was, you know. So I wasn't asking them to like take me on a shopping spree or nothing, but I think it all has to do with like a sacrifice that you're making when you're dating someone, like time, money. Why
do I need to sacrifice right away? Sacrifice should be reserved for those that I actually care about. Sacrifice should be reserved for my children, for my woman, for my mother, for my daughter, for my father, for my sisters, for my cousins. Why should I sacrifice for a stranger when I can put that sacrifice towards somebody that I actually love?
Well, you have to learn to love somebody. It's like a work in progress, not something that happens overnight.
Just as much as you should have to learn to sacrifice, right?
No.
Men should just sacrifice just because we're men.
Women do it. We sacrifice too.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Just where?
In every area, in every aspect.
All I need is one.
We show up. I think that's...
We show up too. What are we talking about?
You show up, but you obviously... You sound like you hate women. Like, that's
we show up with the car.
You sound like you want to be a girl, so you can see what it feels like to be us or something. And then maybe it'll make sense to you. But, I mean, I feel like the women, like, we pretty much bring everything. Like, we're the nurturers. Like, we build a home. We create, like, you can have an empty space, and a woman can turn that into, like, a homey space. You know what I mean?
So you have to have the space to turn it into a home.
Yeah.
So are you saying more, Elle, it's not maybe not even a sacrifice, it's an investment. On the first date, the man should be willing to, hey, and not every investment pays off. Trust me, Pointer has had his failed investments, especially in the woman category. But I personally, okay, don't laugh at me. With that ideology, you know, of, I'm not supposed to take any sides, but appealing to tradition in terms of that's just how I was taught. Do you think that thinking should evolve over time? In some ways, it's a great thing, like evil white people thinking we're less than. Thank God that it kind of evolved out for some. For some. But do you think that the ideology of, hey, that's how it was always done, man pay for woman, that's how it should always be, do you think that should remain in place, appealing to tradition?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was raised. Like, that's how my dad always taught me to be. Like, if a man's not going to do certain things, like, why would you even give him your time? Like, I feel like my time is just as valuable as you paying for a steak or fucking a hamburger or something. Like, all of that adds up. Time is important too, just like money. You can always get more money back. You can't get your time back.
Right, so the time that I spent getting the money to buy this steak is worth what?
Having me there at the dinner with you? Like,
I could eat a steak by myself. What?
But that would be lonely.
I know it wouldn't.
It would.
You got the waitress right there,
I'd get more sides.
Are you gonna like cuddle with the steak after too?
But you already said that you might not take the man home. You might not go home.
I probably won't. On the first date,
so then I'm not cuddling with you either. So what's the point?
You might.
So there's a chance.
So there's
that I might.
He's got to walk the fine line.
If I want to take that steak home and cuddle with that steak, there's a 100% chance I'm cuddling with that steak.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on, filet.
So your primary reason for men always pursuing women is because that's just how the way it's been, that you feel that's just a tradition. That's just the way it should be.
I think there's gender roles that should be played, and like I don't think a woman is supposed to be that aggressive.
So you're kind of relying on some of the older ways of thinking of, the woman has a certain place and the man has a certain place.
Yeah, I mean, look at the world right now. Like, I think it's completely misconstrued, and now like there's so many thoughts on like how things are supposed to be. Like women are like, oh, I can do what a man does, and it's now, right? But I think when our parents were younger, like it was more traditional, like marriages stayed together, families stayed together. And now look, now you have people trying to do things they're not supposed to do. And